study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Good morning din sa akin mga God Brothers. Radhanath Prabhu. There you go. And Navadip Chandra Prabhu. And of course, sa ating mga listeners na nanonood sa ating Facebook Live. Hare Krishna. Laging present dyan si Ramachandra Prabhu. So you know the drill. Before we start our morning, before we start our study of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we should always be in the right mood, the mood of request, in the mood of humility. So join me as we recite the invocation mantras. Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. I offer my obeisances to the personality of God, Supreme Personality of God, Vasudeva. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So yes, later, medyo maintindihan natin bakit merong Vasudeva, bakit tinawag si Krishna na Vasudeva. Pero ang nakaraan, we had the welcoming party. They use also the mga gifts of nature to welcome Krishna. The roads are decorated. It was cleansed as well with rose water and scented flowers. And yung mga yung nature's gift was like the fruits, the seeds, the flowers, was all decorated sa buong city. Welcoming party pa lang to kay Krishna, yung dinadaanan pa lang niya. And everyone was waiting outside sa mga bahay nila, trying to have darshan kay Krishna. They're in awe and also in ecstasy to see the Lord coming back sa Dwarka. So, ang tanong na, sino yung mag-welcome kay Krishna? Sino yung mga great personalities na nakapila sa kanya? And will receive him? We will know. Continued reading sa Srimad Bhagavatam, Creation, Chapter 11. Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwarka. We are starting at text number 16 to 17. On hearing that the most dear Krishna was approaching Dwarka Dam, magnanimous Vasudeva, Akrura, Ugrasena, Balaram, the superhumanly powerful, Pradyumna, Charudeshna, Samba, the son of Jambavati, all extremely happy, abandoning resting, sitting, and dining. Very important na relevant na meron dito sa pag-receive ng guest is kahit anong ginagawa ng mga host or ng mga nasa bahay, kapag may guest ka, you have to stop and visit it. Visit yung guest. I-address yung guest. Just like sabi nga ni Navadip Chandra Prabhu, even one is doing deity worship, Sobrang importante daw to address and puntahan yung guest kapag dumating siya sa bahay. What more pa, yung sabi nila rito na si Krishna yung dadating. So they all abandon resting, sitting, and dining, even pagkain. We must address yung guest. We must approach them in all extremely joyful mood. Also, it was being mentioned, may offense nga daw eh. If one sees a Vaishnava, a devotee, tapos you did not feel joy sa inside, sa loob mo, it is actually an offense. So, especially pag dumarating ba sila sa bahay. So, describe lang natin onti dito yung mga, very few lang, hindi lahat, yung mga personalities and characteristics na given here. Importante rito is Vasudev. And we are chanting always Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kasi si Krishna is the son of Vasudev. Pero kung makikita natin, iba yung orientation ng pronunciation, I mean. Vasudevaya. Si Vasudev is um, Vasudev Krishna, you could see, yung letter A, yung may long bar sa taas. So that's Krishna. Pag nabasa mo na walang bar sa taas ng first A, so si Vasudev na tatay niya yun. Vasudevaya. Saka si Vasudev. Or Vasudev. So malalaman natin yung intonation, saka yung emphasis dun sa vowels. Ito yung art. Ito yung art ng Sanskrit. So, bakit siya tinawag na Vasudev? Kasi tatay niya si Vasudev. An eternal, sa mga different pastimes, sa mga Nitya Lilas or eternal pastimes, kasama niya palagi si Vasudev and Devaki, yung parents nila. So, si Vasudev is a son of Surasena. Then, si Kunti, yung brother niya, si Kunti, which is, ayun yung, how do you call this? Parents ng Pandavas. So, Vasudev and Devaki. Remember that? Ayun yung parents ni Krishna. Pagpunta sa Vrindavan, ang parents ni Krishna doon is si Nanda Maharaj, si Nanda, and si Yashoda. So, what happened here? Pag binuksan mo and in-start mo basahin yung Krishna book, first na eksena doon is yung wedding ni Vasudev sa ni Devaki. And ang nag-drive sa kanila ng chariot pabalik is si Kamsa. So, Kamsa is the brother-in-law ni Devaki. I don't know. sorry. Brother-in-law ni Vasudev. Brother sa ni Devaki. So, tito siya ni Krishna. But, si Kamsa, even kamag-anak siya ni Krishna, is not a saintly person. Nandun siya sa side ng mga demoniac person. Kahit tito siya ni Krishna. So what happened was, habang ni-drive ni Kamsa yung chariot, nakasakay doon si Devaki saka si Vasudev, may voice na nagsabi na, "You are so foolish, O Kamsa. You're driving the chariot and the 8th child of that couple is the one who will kill you." Sino yung nagkasalita na yun? Sino ba yung transcendental spaceman natin that could travel in different places and different time? So, pumapasok na yung character ni Narada Muni. Nagko-connecta na siya. So, yes, si Vasudev and si Devaki yung nakasakay dun sa chariot, sila yung bagong kasal. Pero may voice na nagsabi kay Kamsa. And si Kamsa, so demoniac and was so afraid. Dirino niya kagad yung sword niya, wanted to kill Devaki. Kasi kahit parang pagkakasal pa lang kayo, pero 8th child nyo, I'll kill you muna. Then of course, Vasudev prayed and begged with all mga wise words to please si Kamsa para hindi niya ituloy yon. Then, nagkaroon sila ng agreement, ikukulong yung mag-asawa, and lahat ng magiging anak nila i-offer nila kay Kamsa. So actually, si Krishna pinanganak habang naka-quarantine sila. Nandun sila nakakulong. Si Krishna pinanganak sa prison house sa Mathura. So ito yung mga nangyari, and ito yung mga chain of events para maintindihan natin lalo-lalo na yung how do you call this? Paano pumasok si Vasudeva sa picture and si Devaki tapos si Kamsa, ganun din. Next na important person dito si Akrura. Akrura is yung tito nila. He actually perfected his life. Very basic, pero napakahirap by offering prayers. Ano nga ulit sa Sanskrit ng offering prayers sa 9 processes?
Vanam.
Vandanam, yes. So this offering of prayers, isang acharya dito is si Akrura. Siya yung sumundo. 'Di ba nandun na si Krishna sa si Balaram sa Vrindavan. Tapos yung nila ni Vasudeva sa si Devaki nasa ano pa rin, Mathura, sa Dwarka pa rin. Pero they have to be there kasi papatayin nga sila ni Kamsa. So they have to be transferred sa Vrindavan. Ngayon, nung malaki na sila, 16 years old na si Krishna, kailangan sunduin na si Krishna. And si Akrura yun. Yun yung sumundo na yun. We will learn much more about that pastime as we move forward. So one of the most important um, character that was described here is Baladev or Balaram. Si Balaram is yung kapatid ni Krishna. First expansion ni Krishna ever. And also, he is ang incarnation niya is Nityananda. Kaya yung dinadasal natin, yung sinachant natin na mantra sa Panchatattva prayers. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Doon sa Panchatattva na pictures, pag nakita mo, si Lord Chaitanya sa gitna. And sa right side niya is si Nityananda. If you see yung deities natin sa temple, it is Gaura Nitai or Gauranga as Lord Chaitanya and Nitai as Nityananda. So, lagi sila rin magkasama rin. So, Balaram is father pa rin niya si Vasudev and yung mom niya is Rohini. Kaya tatawag din siyang Rohini Nandana. Also, siya yung 7th child nila. So, mas panganay siya kay Krishna. Kuya ni Krishna si Balaram. And he was also transferred sa Vrindavan. One important na nangyari dito is, one important na meaning that was described by Srila Prabhupada is Bala means spiritual strength, not physical. Yung iba iniisip nila pag Balaram, ano lang eh, physical strength lang eh. There is spiritual strength. And we actually are directly connected kay Lord Balaram kasi he's the original spiritual master of all devotees. So, very connected tayo kay Lord Balaram, Adi Guru. And yes, in the Battle of Kurukshetra, hindi siya sumali. Hindi siya sumali dun sa war na yun kasi he is being favored and also gusto niya pareho si Duryodhan sa sila Pandavas. So, hindi siya sumali doon. He did a lot of pilgrimages. Actually, pumunta siya doon sa Naimisaranya. So, may mga connection yun. Mapapag-aralan natin and didiscuss din natin yan. Very well habang nag-move forward tayo. So, if you want to read much more about these characters, you could see in the purports ng verse na to. And sobrang importante nun kasi just like in movies, di ba? Bago mo malaman yung mga story, bago sila pumasok sa ibang stories, ito na yung mga backstory nila. Ano yung connection nila. Punta natin yung last, yung next text number 18. They hastened toward the Lord on chariots with brahmanas bearing flowers. Before them were elephants emblems of good fortune. Conchs and bugles were sounded, and Vedic hymns were chanted. Thus they offered their respects, which were saturated with affection. Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, the Vedic way of receiving great personality creates an atmosphere of respect. So, laging ganon, we start actually ang ating dito worship by blowing the conch shell. If there would be mantras, will be chanted, and we're offering garlands of flowers. This is how you welcome and host yung mga guests natin. Or even, even di lang guests, even welcome back yung mga loved ones natin. With this kind of atmosphere of respect. Yung mga mas bata sa kanila, mas bata kay Krishna, nag-bow down. Yung mga equals niya, they hug each other. Yung mga mas matanda kay Krishna, si Krishna yung nag-bow down. Very wonderful culture, very wonderful etiquette. That even si Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is doing this. Hare Krishna. Let's go to the next text.
Hare Krishna, good morning, everybody. It's nice to be here with you all again. Great opportunity to study with you, learn from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're continuing. We'll read text number, I'm supposed to read text number 19, 20, and 21. So how do I say this? I think what I would do, because I have to sort of prepare to buckle your seatbelts sa ating mga listeners. Well, we will all going to be, hearing from what, Bhagavatam says and what Srila Prabhupada says. But I thought to gently put it. First, I would like to read all the texts translation of 19, 20, and 21, because personally I thought it was very interesting how from those great personalities that's welcoming Lord Krishna, the uncles, and what Radhachan Prabhu described, and somehow we will jump into these very interesting, very controversial personalities that we will hear, that also are welcoming Lord Krishna in that party, in that welcome party. So I thought, para medyo magaan, basahin ko yung buong translations ng mga text 19, 20, and 21 before we jump into what Sri Prabhupada have described in the purports. But text number 19. At the same time, many hundreds of well-known prostitutes began to proceed on various vehicles. They were all very eager to meet the Lord, and their beautiful faces were decorated with dazzling earrings, which enhanced the beauty of their foreheads. That's one. Well, that's the only one actually. The next one is actually gusto ko lang para medyo hindi tayo masyadong dumirekta agad. So basahin lang natin yung text number 20. Translation. Expert dramatists, artists, dancers, singers, historians, genealogists, and learned speakers all gave their respective contributions, being inspired by the superhuman pastimes of the Lord. Thus, they proceeded on and on. So this very diverse, very different kinds of professions and personalities of different occupations are coming to see the Lord. So we can see how this city of Dwarka is so, we can say, advanced in a way that they are, parang ang daming types na pala ng mga professions and characters na nakatira sa loob ng city ng Dwarka. In the presence of Lord Krishna, 5,000 years ago. Very interesting. Text number 21, 19, 20, 20, yeah. Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, approached them and offered due honor and respect to each and every one of the friends relatives, citizens, and all others who came to receive and welcome him. Hare Krishna. So let's jump into what Srila Prabhupada have said, the particular purports, the text. And we start in text number 19. So makikita natin, very interesting. Well, not really very interesting. I'm afraid that's not the word, at least for me, because it was as revealing to me as maybe to all of you also. How come? One thing's for sure. One thing is for sure here, that we don't know a lot. We don't know a lot about our history, about how we think, we view the society, because the society we live in right now is for sure, everybody must have an experience that it was very much different on how the societies are before, you know. And because of that, we have this, meron tayong conception ng what's good, what's bad, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what's pleasant and what's not pleasant. Because if we hear purport, if you read the purport, Srila Prabhupada was quite descriptive, and he is explaining that even 5,000 years ago, in that Dwarka city where Krishna is residing, prostitutes are present. He went to explain that these prostitutes are necessary citizens for the proper upkeep of society. So parang, wait a minute, di ba? Wait a minute. Lahat tayo mapapa-wait a minute, di ba? Kahit ako eh. How come, you know? We're talking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, His wonderful city of Dwarka. We're hearing about great personalities. All of a sudden, we come in contact in this verse, and it's described that even those prostitutes are welcoming the Lord in His coming, in homecoming. So parang very interesting how come may ganun. So I will leave you to think about that for a moment. Pero one thing is very synonymous to this particular purport sa text ni Srila Prabhupada is the power of devotion to the Lord. Kasi Prabhupada explained different pastimes pertaining to prostitutes, because kung titignan natin sa purport ni Srila Prabhupada, yung sinasabi niyang prostitutes dito are those who somehow by the trick of chance, sabi niya sa second sentence, third sentence, by tricks of chance, one may be obliged to adopt a profession which is not very adorable in society. But, ito yung sinasabi ko, the power of devotion. But that does not hamper one in executing devotional service to the Lord. So these prostitutes appears to be yung mga class of people na sinasabi ng Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, but by arrangement or somehow by their karma, by tricks of chance, sabi nga, is that don't have any other occupational, you can say, profession, or wala silang ibang profession, kundi ganun lang ang may offer nila sa society. It's a very, for me, very controversial, very interesting. But if we see sa sinasabi niya sila Prabhupada sa purport, parang sinasabi niya, the government opens wine shops, but this does not mean that the government encourages the drinking of wine. The idea is that there's a class of men who will drink at any cost. And it has been experienced that prohibition in great cities encourage illicit smuggling of wine. So parang in-explain dito ni Srila Prabhupada that it's necessary, these things are necessary to upkeep the society, because parang may sinasabi sila, men will be men, and parang because of that encourages the feminists to be or if men can do it, women can do it also. Anyway, balik lang tayo dun sa prostitute are present in that. And one devotee is nice explaining that actually these prostitutes, like Srila Prabhupada explained, you can say not profession, but occupation, somehow their way of living is they're devotees of the Lord. So parang wait a second, paano nangyari yun? Prostitute? Devotees? Parang parang ang bigat intindihin. And very interesting nabasa ko lang bila si ating dear John Amataji. I was researching with this also kasi nga sa mga stories na binigay ni Srila Prabhupada, Mary Magdalene who followed Jesus. It was actually my tab here. Kasi binasa ko, alam ko somehow meron ganun din sa pastime ni Lord Jesus Christ that is Mary Magdalene was, a sinful woman. Parang ganun. She is you can say, at least sa theological conversations sa Christianity, Mary Magdalene is viewed as that, as a prostitute. But we can see, ito yung sinasabi ko na one thing is very synonymous, one thing is very obvious here. That, ano yung sabi ng isang devotee? Sabi niya, nothing material can stop one's bhakti. Parang ganun. So, whether one is born in a lower species, not lower species, a lower class because of karma. The power of the association of devotees, the power of the holy name, the power, the path of bhakti can uncheck all those kind of disadvantages or struggles or mga deteriorating factors, sabi ni Srila Prabhupada. Dun sa first paragraph, na sa last sentence ng first paragraph, sabi niya, the real reformation is to enlighten all people to become devotees of the Lord, and that will check all kinds of deteriorating factors of life, meaning whether one is a prostitute or a lowborn, Shudra class, but if one is a devotee of the Lord, somehow accepts Lord Krishna as his Lord, then parang much better pa yon kaysa doon sa mga non-believers. So yun nga, sa text number 19, may mga examples na binigay si Srila Prabhupada, si Bilva Mangala Thakur, you can read about that. It's the same thing, how one is attached to opposite sex, and he will do everything para lang ma-achieve there to come in contact with illicit contact with women. And then this prostitute somehow learning about the Chintamani prostitute, knowing about how this Bilba Mangala Thakur have traveled all the way from whatever mga nadaanan niya, mga pinagdaanan niya para lang makamit ang kanyang minimithi. Sinabihan, just by one word, sinabi niya kung ganyan din yung devotion mo, siguro ibibigay kay Lord, then we'll go back to Godhead ka, parang ganun. So from that from that one sentence, this Bilva Mangala was able to realize that this is actually, the truth. She's speaking the truth. So makikita natin, even this type of this class of people, they can become, sa example na binibigay dito, she became a guru to Bilva Mangala Thakur. She showed her the right path. And then may story pa na yun nga, yung binibigay si Haridas Thakur, di ba? Actually, sinasabi si Bilva Mangala Thakur, Sir Prabhupada was explaining that prostitute is actually his girl. So, when Prabhupada was asked about this, prostitute girls, the same thing. Side of marriage, tinatawag na wedlock, is illicit. It's the same thing, it's prostitution. If you're not marrying a person, and sex life is supposedly for creating children, so prostitute, girlfriend, same thing. Not too much to take, no? Pero That is just the nature that we cannot deny. That's the nature. Um, so, uh, the power of bhakti, sabi nga, we cannot underestimate. Kasi parang yung sinasabi rito na even prostitute became that uh, naging guru ni Vilmangala Thakur. We can see sa sabi pa, story lang yan, hindi naman totoo yan. Parang, pero makikita natin sa society natin, even Srila Prabhupada, nung pumunta siya sa Amerika, di ba? He had serious doubts eh. Sabi niya parang, how can my message be understood by these people? May prayer si Srila Prabhupada na ginawang ganun eh. Na please make my speaking power suitable for their understanding. Kasi nga, alam ni Srila Prabhupada na pupuntahan niyang society is very, it's advanced in such a way that it's so advanced in materialistic way of living that Prabhupada is doubting. So that's why he's praying. Sana maintindihan mo. So si Srila Prabhupada, hindi siya pumunta ron para, alam mo yun, para mansukat sino yung gusto niyang bigyan ng Krishna consciousness. Hindi siya pumunta ron and okay, ikaw medyo low class, hindi ka pwede. Doon lang ako pupunta sa mga mayayaman class na people. Doon lang ako magpipreach, hindi. Srila Prabhupada knowing that, kasi nga philosophically, you can say, we can understand na hindi tawag dyan, hindi siya hurdle eh, hindi siya, ano may word ako na iniisip eh, hindi niya may stop yung na material considerations na meron tayo. He will never stop. Ito lang sa last part, sa purport ni Srila Prabhupada dito sa text number 19 pa rin. Ito lang yung gusto kong i-highlight, this power of bhakti. Sabi ni Srila Prabhupada sa Bhagavad Gita text 9.32, O son of Pritha, even the low-born chandalas and those who are born in a family of unbelievers, and even the prostitutes shall attain perfection of life if they take shelter of unalloyed devotional service to me. Because in the path of devotional service, there are no impediments. Yun pala yung word na hinahanap ko. There are no impediments due to degraded birth and occupation. Diba? So parang wala siyang consider. The path is open for everyone who agrees to follow it. Parang ganun. So from here, we can understand na these prostitutes in the city of Dwarka, and di ba nabasa natin sa last verse na binasa, text number 21, and the Lord parang greeted them also because they are his devotees. So that very, very interesting. I myself don't think can explain it to you very nicely because I'm still also trying to absorb this. But if it's in the Bhagavatam, it's in the Bhagavatam. Hopefully by maturity of time and our devotion, we can understand this. But Srila Prabhupada is simply explaining that even at that time, it appears that the prostitutes are present. So sa text number 20, ito, i-describe naman yung mga ibang klaseng mga persons. The dramatist, artist. So meron na rin mga ganun sa city of Dwarka. Diba? Yung variety ng people na nag-flock para i-welcome si Lord Krishna. Talagang makikita natin, very diverse. Sabi nga ni Sir Prabhupada, it appears 5,000 years ago. Meron na mga gano'n, yung dancers, artists, singers, historians, genealogists, public speakers, etc. Di ba? Lahat sila nagdatingan para i-greet si Lord. Text number 21. Basahin natin yung purport since maikli lang. So, kasi I think for me, ito na lang yung pangtapos ko ng aking mga thoughts. Basahin na lang natin yung purport ni Shil Prabhupada sa text number 21. The Supreme Personality, the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, is neither impersonal nor an inert object unable to reciprocate the feelings of his devotees. Here, the word yatavidhi, or just as it behooves, is significant. Reciprocates just as it behooves with his different types of admirers and devotees. Of course, the pure devotees are of one type only because they have no other object for service but the Lord. And therefore, the Lord also reciprocates with such pure devotees just as it behooves. Namely, he is always attentive to all the matters of his pure devotee. There are others who designate him as impersonal, and so the Lord also does not take any personal interest. He satisfies everyone in terms of one's development of spiritual consciousness, and a sample of such reciprocation is exhibited here with these different welcomers. So, di ba? Krishna did not discriminate. That is the point. And the power of devotional service does not discriminate nasan man tayong position sa buhay ngayon o ano mang ginagawa natin sa buhay na ngayon. And yun nga yung sinasabi ko na one thing is very much obvious dito sa verse na binasa natin, that even if one is doing the most abominable things, it does not stop him. It cannot stop him from his attempt to perform devotional service. Just as Srila Prabhupada explained, devotional service, this path of devotional service is open for everyone, as so long as one is eager to take this. So that is a very important message sa at least nabasa ko na text number 19, 20, and 21. The power of the path of bhakti. Nothing material can stop bhakti. It's always it's open for everyone. If one simply is serious enough to take it, then we will achieve the Lord's favor by our devotion to Him. So, pinapakita rito na all these kind of people na nag-greet kay Lord Krishna sa seat of Dwarka, they are His devotees, and He recognized them and He welcomes them. He reciprocated to them. So that's one thing that very, for me, is very inspiring. Okay. Navadip Chandra, po.
Hare Krishna. Good morning, everyone. Napakagaling. Yes. Light lang, light. So, sabi nga narinig ko lang yung about dun sa sinasabi ni Radhanath Prabhu na yung kumbaga yung unchaste o prostitute is kung ano to, if everybody maka-receive ng care is they will be a great mother. Kumbaga yung naprotektahan. Anyway, tayo rin naman unchased kay Krishna. Tumalikod tayo kay Krishna So, yun. Kasi nagkaroon nga tayo meron tayong nasty habit na to see things in our own enjoyment. Ayan. So, we always think that we are the center of existence, that tayo lang yung mag-enjoy. Whatever I see is for me, for my enjoyment. And yun nga, ang isang point dun is yung alam mo yung nag-anchor, nag-drop tayo ng anchor na hindi maka-progress yung boat of our spirituality. So na-hinders yung goal of life, which is to realize Krishna and to have a loving relationship to Krishna. So yung mga yung dito ngayon sa pinapakita ng mga Dwarkadish o yung mga inhabitants of Dwarka, ito yung real life. Ito yung pinapakita nila na ito yung ito yung purpose of life is to welcome Krishna, is to yung dumating na yung beloved nila. Kumbaga, nagkaroon sila ng buhay nung dumating. So, basahin natin sa 22. The Almighty Lord greeted everyone present by bowing his head, exchanging greetings, embracing, shaking hands, looking and smiling, giving assurance, and awarding benediction even to the lowest in rank. Makita mo, even to the lowest in rank, sabi nga, na um, ito yung reciprocation, oh. Kahit saang ano tayo is ano to, estado ng buhay. Si Krishna nagre-reciprocate na ito yun. Kahit saan pa tayo nanggaling, anong profession and all, kahit matagal na tayong nag-turn our back sa kanya, is inano niya, ginigreet niya everyone. Actually, na-imitate to ng mga politician ngayon eh. Yung mga pag-greet-greet na yan. Yung, yan, shaking hands and all. But you will see the difference of the politician and Krishna himself is yung mga politician, ginagawa nila yun to accumulate para mag-ano ng votes para maano sa kanila yung how to say it, yung favor. But si Krishna, iba. Ang ginagawa niya to for the pleasure of his devotees. So, yan, mga shaking hands na yan. Hindi mo alam, baka doon nakuha nila Lebron James yung mga pag-ganon-ganon nila. So, yun. Pinapakita dito ng mga Dwarkadish yung nature ng spirit soul o ng devotee. Yung sabi nga is ano ba to? Ayan, sa text 23. The Lord personally entered the city accompanied by the early relatives and invalid brahmanas with their wives, all offering benedictions and seeing the glories of the Lord. Others also praise the glories of the Lord. Isang ano dito, isang strong word sa akin dito is yung invalid brahmanas with their wives. Basahin natin yung property. The brahmanas in society were never attentive to banking money for future retired life. When they were old invalids, they used to approach the assembly of the kings and simply by praising the glorious deeds performed by the kings along with their wives, they would be provided with all necessities of life. So, yun nga yung mga brahmanas kasi buong buhay nila yun yung ginagawa nila to glorify Krishna, to teach anything about Krishna na they don't care about the future kasi alam mo naman when we do devotional service to Krishna actually is we are protected actually. So ganun din yung kita mo kasama sila sa entourage ni Krishna accompanied by the elderly relatives and invalid brahmanas. To be in that position is hindi yan one click. Marami na siyang pinaghirapan o marami na siyang sacrifice or marami na siyang ginawang service to the Supreme. Kaya to be in that position is hindi biro. Kaya they're all protected and well facilitated. And then here, when Lord Krishna passed over the public roads, all the ladies from the respective, this is 24, from the respectable families of Dwarka went up to the roof of their palaces just to have a look at the Lord. They considered this to be the greatest festival, just to have a look. So, umakyat nga daw sila sa rooftop. So, yun yung tinatawag na raise the roof. Kasi kulang yung kulang yung sa baba. So, raise the roof. Sa purport ni Prabhupada, to have a look at the Lord in a great festive occasion, undoubtedly, it was considered by the metropolitan ladies of Dwarka. This is still followed by the devout ladies of India. Um, yes. So yun nga, ang point dito is yung pag-see nila kay Krishna is yun nga yung purpose ng buhay natin eh. To see everything in Krishna's hands, or to see everything or everyone is Krishna's creation, Krishna's always connected to Krishna. Kasi nga, pag hindi natin ginamit yun, yung kunyari yung eyes natin, for ang purpose ng eye is to see Krishna. Pag hindi, it's like it's yung tinatawag natin eye of the needle. Eye of a needle is tinatawag siyang eye, pero hindi siya walang hindi siya nakakita. So walang purpose yung pagtawag sa kanya ng eye, parang ganyan. Even yung eye ng peacock feather doesn't serve the purpose. So parang ganun din tayo, if hindi natin magawa yung purpose ng human being or even that eye to see Krishna. So we are non-different to the eye of the needle. So eto, sobrang excited sila kasi dumating na nga yung nila, yung buhay nila eh. Krishna is their life. Yung parang alam mo yon, yung soul nila yung si Krishna, kumbaga kaya nga yung buhay ng soul is kaya merong super soul kasi kailangan mabuhay pa yung soul eh. So siya yung nagbibigay ng buhay sa atin. Alam mo naman pagka yung nawala yung sa feeling sa natin, sa experience natin, pag nawala yung mga beloved natin o pumunta lang sa abroad, parang wala nang purpose ang buhay ko, wala nang di ba? So for sure naramdaman 'yun sa sarili nyo na we have meron tayong talagang how to say it, yung beloved natin is pag na feeling of separation tayo is mawawalan tayo ng gana sa buhay, parang ganyan. Pero ngayon dumating na yung si Krishna, ang dating is nagkaroon na ng purpose yung life, or nagkaroon na ng real life, nagkaroon na their see, their vision, nagkaroon na ng purpose, nagkaroon na ng yung tunay na touch, feel, and smell. So they think that hindi they think they feel that they are being alive again. Hindi yung katulad natin dito sa material world na yes, we are doing a lot of things, skyscraper, working every day, but we don't know the purpose. We are just like the zombie. Gumagalaw tayo pero anong purpose? For what? For our own. And then babalik na naman ng babalik na suffering. Alam naman din natin magsasuffer tayo. Tapos iiyak tayo, and then another taken ng birth, another suffering again. Parang ganun. So That's why this Bhagavatam or all this pastime is teaching us what is the real purpose of life and how to use this precious human life and to reconnect to Krishna. Then tapos na yung suffering natin. Matatapos na yun. And even in this life, even up to now, pwede mong tapusin puro enjoyment with the um, association of the devotees, association of Krishna, glorifying Krishna. And then, makikita mo parang iba yung buhay. Kasi ang point natin, lalo pagka yung energy natin, ginagamit natin for our own enjoyment. Andoon yung konting happiness, satisfaction. Pero, pansinin natin, pagka simple lang na tumulong ka o napakaliit na na bagay, parang iba yung happiness actually. Parang iba. Naramdaman ng mga naramdaman niyo yan for sure. Tumulong kayo sa kaibigan niyo, tumulong kayo sa stranger especially. Yung mga nag-food for life nga nung nakaraan meron silang mga realization na talagang meron ngang isa um, very very yun ang pinapangarap natin, yung makapag-chant ka na mapaiyak ka sa sobrang gratitude dahil naramdaman mo na somehow nagkaroon tayo ng purpose sa buhay or nagkaroon tayo ng ayun, na in contact tayo in devotional service. So what I mean is yun uh, iba yung iba yung dating o iba yung feeling nung devotional service pagka naramdaman natin sa buhay natin. Um, and kayo yung makakapagsabi nun actually or pag na-experience nyo or na-experience nyo na actually. So, ayan. Ngayon, ito na sa text 25. The inhabitants of Dwarka were regularly accustomed to look upon the reservoir of all beauty, the infallible Lord, and yet they were never satiated. Satiated, tinignan ko yan sa Miriam Satiated is parang hindi na satisfied. Parang or ayaw mong yun, parang hindi na satisfied or purposely parang ayaw mong tapusin. Kasi nga kulang pa laging kulang. Alam mo yun. So yun yung how they see it, how they see the beauty of the Lord. Pero ang unang naisip ko lang diyan para naman kung i-compare ko parang napakababaw naman. Pero isa lang talaga naisip ko diyan yung yung pag-inom mo ng Yakult. Pagka naman liit lang laging bitin. Gusto mo uminom ka pa ulit ng isa pa. Pero hindi naman ganoon ka yun lang naisip ko talaga. Pero I mean wala si KD. Si KD may experience diyan sa Yakult na yan So, ayun. Basta kaya nga gumawa na siya ng kombucha kasi gusto niya uminom ng maraming Yakult. Pero anyway, point diyan is yung parang yung sa mall. Meron mga yung mga tao may mga sales lady doon na magbibigay ng something small piece of food na parang product taste. So ito laging ganoon yung kumbaga si Krishna ganoon na okay. Actually bakit ko sinasabi ito kasi kailangan actually i-take opportunity na natin tong bandang part ng first canto na si Krishna is giving displaying intimate dealings with this devotee. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because meron pa rin naman tayong maririnig sa mga preview, mga later na chapters. But actually, dun sa part ng i-describe ni Arjuna. Pero actually, up to the third canto, i-describe din ni Uddhava na merong intimate pastime si Krishna. But the next preview, mga next cantos is makikita pa rin natin si Krishna but not the two-hand form as nakikita natin ngayon. Makikita natin yung mga Yuga avatar, mga Guna avatars, mga Lila avatars or Lila is pastime. And then yun nga yung mga Yuga, yung mga mga Guna avatars is yung mga creation, yung mga nag-create, annihilate, ganun. So yun yung makikita natin. Pero ang sinasabi ko dito is yung Krishna na from Vrindavan, medyo limited. So makikita na natin siya ulit na as Krishna, two-hand form, very sweet, is in the 10th canto. Kaya lagi sinasabi ni Radhacharan Prabhu, we don't jump on the 10th canto para maintindihan muna natin yung buong how to say yung buong Srimad Bhagavatam. Then still we can read the Krishna book. So ayun, yun na nga yung sinasabi ko about sa product taste is binibigyan tayo ng glimpse ni Krishna, yung sweetness ni Krishna. And then we will hunker for more actually. Because actually ito lang naman yung happiness natin is to how to say to see the glories of Krishna. And then makikita natin yung mga susunod na verses is ito na yung medyo detailed na yung pagkaka-describe sa beauty ni Krishna. Ayan. Tapos pasok na siya ng Dwarka, ng mga palaces and all. And then greeting their parents and all, how he greet. So very very interesting. And ng Srimad Bhagavatam is it's best you can advance reading on yung mga purport kasi dun mo talaga matitaste yung sweetness ng pastime si Krishna. And then also kung wala namang copy is meron din naman sa online. Ayan. Pero mas maganda yung tangible na nahawakan mo kasi hindi masakit sa mata.
Solid. Thank you very much, Navadip Chandra Prabhu, Radhanath Prabhu. Yes, our desires will always not be satiated materially. But of course, it is exhausting compared sa ating unsatisfied desires to see and feel Krishna, which is much more ecstatic nga. So we choose saan tayo magdi-desire. Ano yung unsatiated na natin na mga desires natin. The perfect analogy is the fire. Yung fire, kahit anong gano'ng karaming log of food lagay mo, hindi niya sabihin, teka lang, busog na ako. Yung fire, kahit anong lagay mo, susunugin yan. That's our desire. And we choose, of course, to always try to take Krishna through our eyes, through our ears, through our hearts, para mas ma-feel natin siya. And mangyayari yon kapag araw-araw tayo nag-study ng Srimad Bhagavatam. So, see you ulit bukas. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanandi. Maraming salamat, Radhanath Prabhu, Navadip Chandra Prabhu. If you are, again, free pa rin, there's a class by His Holiness Giridhari Swami sa kabilang room. If you want the password and ID, PM me. And for the fourth batch, nating meditation yoga philosophy, kita tayo mamaya 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.